Hello, welcome to Rotor Stall. I hope you're all well. I hope you're enjoying the channel and the things that we're covering here. So in today's video, we're talking about aeronautical decision making by pilots and looking at the role of the pilot in command, the captain, and what is captaincy, specifically captaincy. So this term is bandied about quite a lot. And in crew resource management, we would talk about this in terms of a crew setting, operating within a crew dynamic, within a team dynamic. What is captaincy? And many people have different opinions of what it actually means, or in practical terms, how it actually manifests itself. So captaincy, essentially, there is a role. The captain of the ship, the captain of the helicopter or the aeroplane, the pilot in command. Now, it really depends. If you are flying by yourself, you're a solo pilot, and you're the sole occupant of the aircraft, where you are the pilot in command, you are the pilot flying, you are the pilot monitoring, you are the captain, you are the commander, you are everything rolled into one. You're just flying by yourself. So the decisions that you make are for your own benefit. So you are making those decisions. You're making the best decisions based upon what you know, what you can see, what you have forecast to enable a safe flight, to arrive at your destination in a safe manner, and also not to have made decisions that impact on that safety and potentially on the efficiency, so that you're acting within the rules of your license, let's say, or of that flight. Now, the rules may differ slightly depending on the type of flying that you're doing, the country in which you're flying, of course, and the particular license of which you're using as well, or which you're flying with. But essentially, the role of the pilot in command, the captain, in the case if you're a solo pilot, single pilot operation, then you're making the best decisions for the safety of that aircraft and to operate within the rules. So you have all the knowledge of the rule set, of the regulations. You'll know what the flying conditions are, what are all the peculiarities of that particular aircraft that you're flying, and then you're going to be using your navigation skills and your communication skills with air traffic control to be able to get you to your destination in the safest way possible. And you're going to be able to make those decisions in a dynamic fashion based upon anything that you encounter along the way. So let's just say, for example, a turn in the weather, there's a problem with some kind of instrumentation, there's a problem with the engines, so on and so forth. So you're going to have to potentially make emergency decisions, take emergency action in order to maintain a certain level of safety on the aircraft, or make an emergency landing if it's so required. So those decisions that you make, there are sole decisions for your own benefit and also for the safety of the aircraft, okay? And by extension, the safety of third party on the ground or even in the air. However, when you take that pilot, that solo pilot, and you put them into a crew dynamic or with lots and lots of passengers, then captaincy has a slightly different meaning, a certain emphasis, I should say. And what that means is that you are taking much more of a management, much more of a leadership role. Now, in olden days, let's say, the captaincy could have some negative connotations in that the captain of the ship, the captain of this aircraft, they make the final decision and everybody else is subordinate to them. The problem with that is that the captain is not always right. The captain might be making bad decisions based on poor information, or just maybe having human factors issues that is causing them to make bad aeronautical decisions, or if you're in nautical decisions in terms of shipping. Okay, so you might be making bad decisions. So when you're operating within a crew, and let's say you have a first officer co-pilot with you, then actually the dynamic between the two is really important. So you can exude captaincy and taking that leadership role. But part of that leadership is also having a willing follower, is also having somebody who's going to work with you and follow your lead, but also have the ability to voice any concerns and check what you're doing. That's what captaincy is. It's really about always making sure that the decisions that you make as an individual, but also as a crew, are the best decisions for the safety of the aircraft, the safety of yourself, of the crew. You're operating within the regulations, you're operating with the rule set, you'll be able to make dynamic risk assessments, dynamic decisions based upon what you're encountering, how the aircraft is flying, all your knowledge of the aircraft, to be able to arrive at your destination in the safest way possible, and in some cases, certainly in a commercial sense, the most efficient way possible. So captaincy takes on a whole leadership element. It's not only about the knowledge of the aircraft, it's only about the knowledge of the regulations and also flying in the safest way possible. It's also about having that leadership role, understanding crew dynamics, understanding crew resource management to a certain level, or to a really high level, so that you're able to listen to input, to be able to discuss things at certain times, to be able to rationalize certain events, but at the same time you're able to be that leader when it's called upon. Now, you might see some definitions say, well, the captain has the ultimate authority and the ultimate responsibility on that aircraft. Yes, absolutely, there is that element, but it can't be held in isolation. You've always got to use that role, that captaincy role, that pilot in command, the commander of that aircraft. You always got to use that role in conjunction with other people, whether it's flight crew, co-pilot, whether it's cabin crew, air crew in the back, and also by extension to the passengers as well, because everybody's on board and everybody's safety is paramount here. So that is captaincy. When you're flying by yourself, it's actually just knowing what the rules are, operating with the rules, operating with safety, knowing the aircraft, knowing navigation, and getting to your destination and making good, sound aeronautical decisions that keep you safe and efficient and on course, as it were. But in terms of a crew dynamic, then you're really bringing on leadership qualities, that communication skills, the ability to be able to listen to what other people are saying and listen to good advice and good information, to understand that crew dynamic. In the olden days, there would be that I am the captain and everything I do is correct and you just sit there and you just do as you're told. There would be what we call a cockpit gradient. I mean, I'm up here and I'm talking to you down there, and don't you dare talk to me up here, right? You know, I'm being I'm making a characterization of the situation, of course, but in real terms, that's what could happen. That's what led to a lot of accidents, a lot of mistakes being made, and even today in certain cultures that can still be the case. So in terms of human factors world, human performance and limitations, crew resource management world, that has really been something that the industry has focused on over many, many years now. And so that captaincy is about leadership. It's about communication. It's also about having the final authority of the aircraft. Of course it is. But it's also about having all these other qualities that ultimately make you and the crew make the best decisions possible. If you like what I do here, keep on watching, and I'll catch you again.